It starts with a grape. Not just any grape, a carefully selected grape whose vine will complement the soil and the climate. Then, it takes the right winemaker. And if that winemaker happens to be an unstoppable revolutionary with a dream of building a world-class winery, the result is Willamette Valley Vineyards. Jim Bernot is Willamette Valley Vineyards. Son of a Roseburg lawyer and a community activist mother, Jim has been breaking new ground his whole life. He was a political science and history major at the University of Oregon. Though he claims he studied fermentation, that is, the benefits of fermentation, more than any other subject. The fact that he was ROTC and student body president at the height of the anti-war movement tells you something about this man's talent to lead. He would create the Oregon Student Lobby to work with lawmakers, organize his own campus grocery co-op, get admitted to Willamette Grad School without a degree, and end up in Washington, D.C., building the American Student Association to professionally lobby Congress and the White House. Once back home, Jim spent 9 years as head of the Oregon office of the National Federation of Independent Businesses, lobbying the legislature for small businesses, including a dozen or so winemakers. Then, one day in 1983, Jim Bernot decided to be a viniculturist, a winemaker, creator of Nectar of the Gods. He bought a tractor, a steeply sloped piece of land in South Salem that used to be a plum orchard, and some starter vines. He had no money for an irrigation system, but he found a sale on garden hoses at Fred Meyer, bought 17 75-foot lengths, and spent all summer hauling them up and down the hill, watering every vine by hand.
One of my neighbors who's passed away now, I remember him when I was plowing. I was coming down the hill, and I saw him drive by in his car, his El Camino, and then I saw him come back, pull into my driveway, and he waited until I got to the bottom of the hill with my tractor. And when I got close enough to him, all he was doing was just shaking his head. He had his head down, he was just shaking his head. And I'd never met him. I got up close to the tractor with him, and I turned off the tractor so I could talk with him, and he said, "What in the hell are you doing?" And I said, "Excuse me?" I says, I'm plowing. He says, "The hell you are. Get off that tractor and let me show you how to plow." So even my neighbors got in the act to help me.
Jim's first harvest was in 1988, his first crush in 1989, and in 1990, he released the first wine with the label Willamette Valley Vineyards. In the quarter century since, Jim, still a revolutionary, has accumulated an extraordinary number of firsts. He used a public stock offering to build capital, was the first winery to start his own distribution company, became the first to use certified sustainable cork in all its bottling, was the first winery to be named Agribusiness of the Year, and the first to gain certification from every group monitoring sustainability initiatives. But Willamette Valley Vineyards is more than a maker of wines. Jim Bernot uses the winery as a vehicle for innovation, in energy conservation, in the stock market, in marketing, and in the organic movement. He gave $500,000 to Oregon State University to create the first U.S. endowed professorship in fermentation science. He switched his delivery vans from gas to biodiesel, and he managed to have his wines poured on the TV show Friends. Today, Willamette Valley Vineyards, named one of America's great Pinot Noir producers, distributes in all 50 states and 8 foreign countries. Its tasting room, next to the stunning estate vineyard, is the most visited facility in the state. And so, Jim Bernot, cheers! We raise our glasses to you for believing Oregon could be a world producer of fine wines, for your innovation that has led the state's wine industry, for speaking for the land, for doing what no one else dreamed of. May you savor your success while we savor your wines. Willamette Valley Vineyards, a great company led by a great man, making Oregon great.